Hi, everyone. It's me, Tim. Today, I want to talk about brainstorming. Basically, my thoughts on it, how we did it, what worked, what didn't. So, basically, when I talk about brainstorming, I'm usually talking about a meeting where we get together and I explicitly tell people it's a brainstorming session. We get together to chew on ideas. And this is specifically something that you want to do in a group. I tell people ahead of time we're chewing on ideas with each other, where we're gonna go over these. I will always tell people ahead of time, be positive. Let's examine all of them for their pros and cons. I I like it because you can really take an idea and you can pull it apart. You can see the pieces of it. Think about how it will work with other systems in the game, and put it back together sometimes in a slightly different way. What I've discovered over the years is that some people are really, really bad at collaborative design. I don't know what it is. I think they miss the collaboration part. Um, Over the years, I've categorized them as one of three different type of people. The first type, they just critique all the ideas in the session, with the possible exception of theirs, as dumb or stupid or nobody wants that in their game. It's remarkably unconstructive. I've often said to people, you might as well not even say anything, because when you offer an unconstructive criticism, what is anyone supposed to do with that? There's nothing to do. It's literally unactionable. So why are you even talking? Um, Sometimes that fixes it. Sometimes people are like, oh, okay, I didn't realize I was being so negative. Sometimes they just go, okay, okay, and then they go right on doing it. And I try to tell them what we want you to say is, instead, try saying, well, I hear what your idea is, and I think it would lead to this problem, or it would lead to this issue. Do we want this issue in the game? Maybe we don't mind. Or if we don't, what would we do to fix it? That's a lot more useful than just saying that's dumb. The second type of people I often run into in these meetings are people who come in with their own idea, and that's the only thing they're going to want, the only thing they listen to. They defend it against all commentary, all critique. They won't acknowledge there are any flaws in it. Their idea is perfect, and they want to do it, and they don't listen to anyone else's ideas. Which again makes me go, why did you come to a brainstorming session if you don't want to brainstorm ideas? And you just have to be open for someone else having a better idea. I mean, hello, I was going to call the Fallout system A-Slips, and then Jason Swin went, special. So you just have to be open that someone there may have a better idea than yours. And some people just can't move past that. And then finally, there are people who show up who don't have any ideas on their own and don't comment on anyone's ideas. And I don't mind this. I mean, I talked about the quiet powerhouses I've worked with, and some of them are fantastic. They do great work. But I question, why did you come to a brainstorming meeting? And sometimes I go, well, I just like hearing the ideas. Okay, but you can hear about them later. It's especially when the brainstorming session gets too large, it's hard for people to feel like they can contribute. But if there's 15 people and only 5 of them are talking, I want to ask the other 10, why did you come? And frequently somebody says, well, I would have said something, but everyone else talked a lot. You know, I I try to go around and ask people what they want, and there all are lulls and there's drops in the conversation, and you're here to present an idea. I can't do all that work for you. So I've had that kind of person, and hopefully you can just move past that. So I did a lot of brainstorming sessions at every company I worked at, except maybe Pegasus. I don't think people want 16-year-olds to run their brainstorming sessions. We did it a lot at Interplay and Troika, a lot. Fallout did this great. And this is where I say I didn't really learn why until later, but we were all real passionate. We all wanted to contribute. We were all willing to listen to each other. And we just all wanted to make a good game. And we were all headed in the same direction, that unity of vision. Troika did it too, mostly. We weren't as successful as Fallout. It took me years to figure this out. In fact, I know people hate me saying this, but I'll probably do a video about some of the issues that happened at Troika that surprised me because they didn't happen on Fallout at Interplay. But we pretty much, though, had good brainstorming sessions at Troika. Carbine is where I saw things really just go south. People would show up at these meetings absolutely entrenched. They already brought their idea and they weren't going to listen to anyone else. Or they didn't bring an idea, but they got mad. Like, why is this meeting taking so long? And I'm like, often I'd be like, why are you here? And then they go back to their office and tell them, Tim didn't even want me here. I think he doesn't like insert artist, programmer, junior QA, whatever. And it was just like, no, if you're going to come to a meeting and not contribute, if you're going to come to a group roundtable meeting like that and not contribute, that's on you. There's only so much I can do to help you in a meeting like that. You have to meet me halfway. And there are a lot of people at Carbine who didn't want to do that. They were like, either I came with an idea and I said it, and why didn't everyone recognize its obvious greatness? Or I'm not going to talk, and afterwards I'm going to be really angry. Obsidian was interesting because I was there from 2011 to 2020, and I'm still doing design there now, but remotely. So I was there for 9 years as an employee who was physically working there. Early on, for like, South Park and Pillars and Tyranny, I thought it went pretty good with the brainstorming. But later, when I was game director, it was hard to get people to brainstorm. I literally had one person who I'd worked with closely on those other games say, yeah, I just can't do it. I mean, you're game director now. I can't do it. I can't argue one of your ideas. You say it and I just want to implement it. And that was a little frustrating. Leonard would do it. Charlie would do it. Other people wouldn't. Ferg occasionally would, but then he had the habit, and he did this way back at Interplay, where if he lost one of those, if he lost, and I don't consider it a competition, but if there was a brainstorming session and his idea didn't come out on top, he sometimes just put it in anyway. That was the turbo plasma rifle in Fallout. He did it in Outer Worlds with a few things, a few of which broke the game build the next day. So I would call that a fourth type of person, but that was a special case. I do know that sometimes when Leonard and I would hash out ideas, especially on Outer Worlds, because we'd worked together for a long time and we knew we could talk to each other about stuff, we'd get really passionate. Sometimes one person would be standing up in front of the whiteboard and the other person would be like, blah, blah, blah. And one time, Anthony Davis, one of the programmers there, he came by and he tiptoed into the room and he goes, why are you guys yelling? It's making everybody tense. It's like mom and dad are arguing. And I said, look, I'm going to stop you right there. But which one of us is mom in this case? And also, I tried to tell him we were just hashing out ideas. We weren't mad at each other. We weren't arguing. And it made me realize that some people at Obsidian had never seen that happen. That two people or more can really chew on an idea and try to hash it out. And they're not angry. They're just... It makes me wonder if people never really saw real passion for game design, or if they thought that was a bad thing. All I know is that's how Leonard and I often worked through ideas, and I liked it. When you brainstorm, though, you have to be willing to admit you're wrong, or similar to that, you have to be willing to admit that someone else's idea is better than yours, and that's hard for some people to do. I love it when people come up with an idea better than mine for a couple reasons. One, hey, game has a brand new idea that's better. And two, now they can own it. They can be the one who can go, okay, I thought of this idea. I'll spec it out. I'll be the point person for when people have questions about this idea. And I think that works for a number of reasons. One, they're super happy, because they have a new idea that's in the game and it's theirs and they can own it. But also it makes them feel like they're owning the game. People who have ideas that directly get implemented tend to be way more into the game they're working on. And so that's why I'm really happy when people come up with a better idea. Because I'm like, yep, let's do yours. Now, there are occasions where in hindsight, I kind of wish things had gone differently. And I realized we had implemented different things. And you know what? That's okay. I don't think there's a single game of mine that's ever shipped that I look back and go, we did everything right. I often wish that we had made different decisions. Sometimes you get to a point where it's too late. You've made that decision. Too much work has been done on it. It's not horrible. It's just you have a better idea now. And that's okay. I think you should be like that. That's how you learn. That's how you improve. What you really need to be scared about is people who are always right. People whose ideas are always right, who can't think of anything they do better in one of their games, who think everything they do is wonderful. Those are the scary people. So, anyway, those are all my ideas on brainstorming. And I hope that gave you a little look in kind of how brainstorming worked when we made the RPGs that we did. And maybe it can help you on your brainstorming session.